I curled my mustache on a Sunday and somewhat poorly, I think. And I did that because I want to tell you guys about 7 of the most insane competitions that I've ever seen.
Y'all stay tuned. It's gonna get real.
We're going to go over what the competitions are, when they happen and why they happen, as well as how many people usually become majorly injured or even die in some special cases. And obviously, I want you guys to know that my favorite event is going to be the last one, the 7th one. So if you really want to see the real meat and potatoes, stick around till the very end. So that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the actual competitions. Let's go. So the first competition, it's called Valparaíso, and it happens every year between February and March in Chile. And it's one of the most insane downhill through the city bike races that you'll ever see. Here, I got some video right here. Now, every year there are about 30 to 40 like super professional. I don't even know what the process is for how you get into this thing, but it's not something that just anyone can get into. Like, there's a competition to even be able to compete in this event. And obviously you can see from that video why you have to be a pro to be able to do stuff like that. And on any given year, there are generally multiple injuries, from concussions to broken bones to contusions, and many people will go to the hospital during any event. Luckily, no one has ever reported anyone dying in this event, so that's pretty crazy because it looks like you could easily die, right? One other fun fact is that the event is actually sponsored by Red Bull, which is not surprising after you see that video initially, because when I first saw that video, I was like, how the hell are they making video this good chasing after this guy going down this hill going like 50 miles an hour? So that's mystery solved. The way they're able to have such amazing video is that everything is sponsored by Red Bull. Event number 2 is called the Basant Kite Flying Festival, and it takes place in Pakistan every year in around February to celebrate the coming of the spring. And basically, tons of people in Pakistan all get on their roofs or in alleyways or wherever, and they fly just tons of kites, right? Bear in mind, flying a kite in Pakistan is apparently illegal, and it's reported that in any given year, up to 10 people die in this event. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, how the hell is this a competition? This doesn't seem like any sort of competition. It's like just a bunch of people flying kites for spring, right? Not exactly, because there's heavy competition in this event for people to make the best kites and be celebrated the most and make the most beautiful and outlandish thing that they can put into the sky. And obviously, the best way to keep other kites that are better than yours out of the sky is to fly your kite with razor wire. I mean, of course it is. Who wouldn't think of that? And interestingly enough, that is actually what contributes to the fatalities in the event every year. Up to 10 people die every year. A lot of them are from falls, from people falling off their roofs while they're flying the kites. There's also electrocutions. People will fly their kites into the electric lines and then obviously get electrocuted that way. And then, most unbelievable of all, there are people who get their throats cut from the razor wire that the kites are flown with. So, yeah, kite flying apparently can be pretty dangerous. Now we're on to event number 3. It is called Takanakuy. It takes place in Peru, and it roughly translates to the Christmas Fighting Festival. Hundreds of people compete in the event every single year, and the main reason for the fights and the competition is to settle disputes or problems that you've had with people in the prior year. So basically, it's kind of like an airing of grievances in a way.
The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're gonna hear about it.
And you get to settle your disputes by just beating the ever-loving hell out of whoever you had problems with. So if somebody screwed you on a business deal, or maybe rear-ended you and then didn't have good insurance to pay for the problem, Or maybe you stole somebody's wife and, caused somebody's husband to cheat on them with you. Maybe at the end of the year, you're going to get your comeuppance, Brittany. Obviously, with this being a bare-knuckle type fighting situation, there are lots of contusions and bruises and the occasional lost tooth or injured face, but there are no serious fatalities regularly reported for this event. Now, obviously, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I know of an amazing product that works perfect for busted faces after something like a Christmas fight, and that is Ron's Balms and Botanicals. At Ron's Balms, we offer a full variety of topical balms, roll-on oils, and even gummies to help you relieve aches and pains and stress and sleep problems and all sorts of stuff that everybody deals with all the time. And the absolute best part about all of our products is they come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can actually save 25% on your entire first order by visiting ronsbalms.com or signing up via the link that's in the description below. All right, back to the video. All right, event number 4 is Rouketopolemos out of Greece. This event happens on Easter Sunday, and it takes place between two rival churches in Greece. And there are hundreds and hundreds of people who either are already involved with the churches or who volunteer for the event. Nearly 61,000 homemade rockets are shot between the two churches. Dozens of injuries usually happen every year. Most of the time, as you would imagine, it's like burns and things like that related to flaming rockets hitting you. There aren't that many fatalities reported, and like I say, there's a few injuries, and what there is more reports of than anything is people's houses catching on fire and then burning down. I wonder what causes that.
The church burned my house down.
Event number 5, the Tough Guy Competition. So this event happens in January of every year. The time whenever it's just super warm in England usually, right? And they say that about 6,000 people compete in this, and around 30% of everybody who competes fails to even finish. So that's like 2,000 people who don't even make it through. Some of the most highly reported injuries are things like hypothermia, because January in England. There's also various scrapes, contusions, cuts, a couple of concussions. Obviously, there's the occasional fracturing of legs and arms. And since 1987, there have been 2 confirmed deaths. It's called the world's toughest tough man competition because the competitors have to face all sorts of insane stuff like electric shocks, fire, going underwater for extended periods of time. I don't know how there hasn't been a drowning. And obviously, everything that they do takes place when it's like literally freezing outside and they're soaking wet. So you guys have probably heard about this one, but I don't know if you know all the details about the running of the bulls. So this takes place every year from July 6th to the 14th. And as of late, there are up to 20,000 competitors who get in on this. The injuries usually average 50 to 100 per year. And obviously, as you saw from the video that I just showed you, the injuries are going to be things like getting knocked down, stomped, kicked, smashed, butted, gored, etc. from bulls. So it's going to be lots of broken bones and scrapes and cuts and various, injuries and whatnot. I think this is one of the most dangerous competitions that I've found, and they say that there have been something like 16 confirmed fatalities since 1910. Now, obviously, nobody's really worried about fatalities because they started doing this in 1910, and they're still fully doing it, knowing full well that fatalities are a very real possibility. So, yeah. One thing about the competition is that a lot of the locals who live there in Spain, they complain because they get, people come from all over the planet to do this running of the bulls. And they say that a lot of people don't really appreciate the danger and how crazy things can actually get. And that's part of why there are so many injuries and so many deaths, because apparently the people who are competing in the competition, they don't care or something.
Gringos just don't know bulls are dangerous.
So this one is an extra one that I'm going to throw in. It's not necessarily a competition, but I found it because I was, going down the rabbit hole and everything, and I found it to be very interesting and somewhat funny. There's a thing called the Baby Jumping Festival. It happens in Spain every year between like May and July, I think. So as you see, people will lay their little babies out, and then men dressed in what they call devil costumes will come running through and jump over the babies. Apparently, this celebration, what it does is it cleanses their babies of all of their sins and makes them be able to live better, more prosperous lives since they've been cleansed of sins. And thankfully, no reported injuries have ever actually happened, but there's obviously still lots of concern from lots of white ladies all over the planet because obviously you know why. But yeah, I just kind of thought that one was pretty funny and wanted to see what you guys thought of it, so I put it in this video. And now, lastly, but definitely not leastly, is the Cooper's Hill Cheese Race. This competition happens on Cooper's Hill in England. Usually every year it happens in late May on the bank holiday. Dozens and dozens of people compete in this, and there's usually multiple heats, so it'll be multiple groups of people running down this ridiculous hill chasing after a wheel of cheese. One fun fact about this competition is that the cheese can actually travel at a speed of over 70 miles per hour while going down the hill. And there are always paramedics on scene because there are always injuries. Anywhere from 30 to 50 injuries a year, I think, is what they report. And it's obviously things like broken bones, contusions, dislocations, concussions, and situations like that from people, falling down a hill and getting the hell beat out of them. I think there have only been a couple of reported deaths ever in this competition's history, and it's been going on for a really, really long time. I'm not sure off the top of my head how long it's been, but most people don't die. They just get really badly injured. But one of the great things is that if you're a paramedic at this event, the way that you work as a paramedic is the paramedics literally just sit at the bottom of the hill and wait for injured people to literally roll in. And then they bandage them up and, stitch them up and do all that stuff. So if you're a paramedic in England and you want to have a, semi-easy job where the people just literally come rolling straight into you, this would be the event to, work. So yeah, there you go. That's 7 of the craziest competitions that I've ever personally seen because I went down a rabbit hole on the internet, plus one extra one where they jump over babies. Let me know in the comments, which one is your favorite one? Have you heard of all of those, or was there one or multiple that you'd never heard of? Also, don't forget, because I got to mention this here, that Ron's Balms helps with all of the many issues that these types of competitions cause. You can learn everything about all of our products by visiting ronsbalms.com or clicking the link to our card below, and you can save 25% on your first order. It's also worth noting that we are currently running a very special deal where you can buy 2 items and get any third item full free, all free, no charge. It's all good. And if you've watched all the way to this part of the video, I really appreciate you guys for sticking around. If you liked the video, hit it with a like. If you got any questions, or obviously if you want to put your 2 cents in the comments below, I would really appreciate that. And hopefully we see you guys in the next one.